the question, if
If
any.
any, because we are short in time,
I hope
so.
I hope I have completed within time frame.
Yeah, you have completed, and because you have touched all the corner, all the regulatory point of view, starting from how the one a small scale industry, if want, they come together, they can, whatever the government incentive now they are giving, they can utilize fully in terms of this biosimilar, because past speaker also told that now the time has come for the personalized medicines, RDNA product, and if you see the Dr. Ravi is sitting here, he is shown the data, the all 10 top MNCs who is selling the biosimilars. So our backbone is a small scale industry. So I appeal as a regulator, you come forward, get together, and all the facility, make a cluster 5 6 company, and make a common facility in terms of the instrument, in terms of the human resource and expertise and regulatory awareness. People, you can get it and you can start it, because now if you start after 10 year will come in the market, 5 year will come in the market, and government program is also you get assistance up to 20 28 26 28. So if we start now, so this is very right time. So what madam has given here, the knowledge, capsule of knowledge, we can utilize fully. Thank you. Any query you can ask, we can tell, and we can, with regulatory point of view also. So thank you, madam, for you have given so nice lecture that they have understood everything. So I
Thank
think
you.
you please. Now I request Shri J. Ram Nivas to give his lecture on the change in regulatory environment of Indian pharmaceutical sector and emerging opportunity and challenges. Thank you.
No response?
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I think that after lunch people feel sleepy. But I will not make you sleep. I will wake you up. First of all, I am thankful to Saket Projects for inviting me for this conference as a speaker. And I have visited many times as a speaker over here for different subjects on regulatory aspects. Today I have covered the change in regulatory environment of Indian pharmaceutical sector and emerging opportunities and challenges. You know very well, if there are changes, challenges will be there. Change comes with challenges, and challenges, behind every challenge, there is a hidden opportunity. So, in my presentation, I have covered Indian regulatory perspective, evolution of Indian pharmaceutical sector, change of rules, regulations and laws, challenge of Indian pharmaceutical industry, opportunity to Indian pharmaceutical industry, and conclusion. If you have any question, you can ask me at the end of my presentation. The emerging opportunity challenges of Indian pharmaceutical sector in the broader national healthcare industry due to the recent change in the regulatory environment that have placed India in spotlight of the global pharmaceutical market. The year that gone by, 2021, after COVID-19, during COVID-19 also, We had lot many challenges, but we accepted them, and pharmaceutical sector as well as medical fraternity both played very important role in overcoming the pandemic by providing quality medicine, quality and effective medicines to the needy persons. The Indian market have seen lot many challenges, and industry faced a share of challenges. How they overcome them, that I'll discuss in my presentation. The industry, with support of the government, has made many efforts in finding its roots in current government's Atmanirbhar Bharat. The government of India has policy to make each and every pharma sector to be self-reliant. We should not be dependent on other countries for the medicines. So that is the policy of government of India. And second policy is Make in India policy. Whatever you make in your country, you need to be dependent on others. The focus has been making the Indian pharmaceutical industry self-reliant and to reduce the dependency on other countries. India is likely to be the most top 3 pharmaceutical markets by incremental growth and 6th largest market globally in absolute size. The market is predominantly a generic one because now we are focusing more on generics instead of branded products. The laws and regulations of the country, including intellectual property, drug regulatory, drug pricing, prescription, etc., are geared up towards governing and strengthening a generic market. The measures in the pipeline will push it further in this direction. So, lot many measures are being taken to push the generic products into the market. The current scenario, the Indian pharmacy market today accounts for 50% of the total global supply, including essential vaccines, life-saving drugs to the global market. It can be regarded one of the top, most potent and booming industries that the country has at present. Future prospects, the health is a concern that can never fade away as long as the human race is there on the earth. The need of medicines will keep arising time and again. So the need of pharmaceutical sector will never get less, they will increase day by day. Because you can see different type of diseases are coming up. You must have not heard about the corona, COVID-19. That was a challenge to the pharmaceutical sector. But pharmaceutical sector as well as the medical fraternity both played very important role to come out with the vaccine within the scheduled time. And we succeeded in overcoming that pandemic. Not only in India, but we have supplied the vaccine to 29 countries. That is what the new Bharat. We have proven that Indian pharma sector is not lagging behind or not far behind. They are marching soldier to soldier other global pharmaceutical companies. So the pharmaceutical market will never lose its significance in the days to come. The Indian regulatory perspective, the Drug Controller General of India, DCGI, established under the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, is the nodal agency which regulates the India drug market, including product safety, efficacy, clinical trials, market authorization, and post-market surveillance. It is the role of CDSCO, DCGI, Government of India. The Indian pharmaceutical companies, the pharmaceutical company not only contribute to the health care of the people, but also to contribute to the economy of the country. And we have played a great role in creating jobs, developing ancillary industries, export earnings, which has contributed to the GDP, gross domestic product of our country. The growth of pharmaceutical sector of a country is important for the growth of a country. That's why the Government of India has come out with the Ministry of Pharmaceuticals. And you must have come across the Jan Aushadhi Kendra. But the medicines are now available by their international non-proprietary names. Earlier, we had to go and find the medicine under branded names, but now same medicine, if you get from the Jan Aushadhi Kendra, it will be at cheaper rates. So that is the difference. How the Indian pharmaceutical industry evolved, that can be divided in 4 phases. Phase 1, before 1917, where only foreign companies were dominated in the pharmaceutical sector. There were no Indian company, but in 17 and 1990, second phase, where in 1970, establishment of public sector companies come up in India. Then the Indian Patent Act, which also came up in the 1970, and export promotion and initiated. Indian companies started exporting their medicines, drugs. Then the phase 3, that is between 1990 to 2010, where liberalization of market happened, product patent, introduction of VAT, dominated generic drugs market, and adoption of newer sales modules. And now the current phase, that is after 2010, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Policy established in 2012, then new drug price control order which came up in 2013, then Patent Act amendment happened in 2015, second largest number of abbreviated ANDAs with US FDA, and India is the largest drug master file holder country in the world for APIs. The structure of pharmaceutical sector can be divided into active pharmaceutical ingredients as well as formulation, drug products. See, active pharmaceutical ingredients has 2 structures, branded and generic, and now focus is on generics. Same way in formulation, chronic as well as acute. So it which includes cardiovascular, anti-diabetics, gastrointestinal, neurological, anti-infective, respiratory, pain, gynecology. Now, what are the changes in the rules and regulations and laws with respect to the generic prescription? In 2017, the Government of India announced that the established a label framework mandating the doctors to prescribe medicines by their international non-proprietary name, INN only. Earlier, the same medicines we are getting by branded names as the pharmacies. The cost was very heavy. So it was not accessible to the poor section of the society. But ever since the IIN name has been prescribed by the doctor, the medicines are easily available and Jan Aushadhi Kendra. To ensure quality of generic drug approval by the state FDAs, the Union Ministry of Health issued a notification in April 2017 requiring bioequivalence BE studies to be conducted for all drugs, new or otherwise, for category 2 and category 4 of the biopharmaceutical classification system. The draft NPP process mandatory bioavailability in addition to proposing the BAB test mandatory for all drug manufacturing premises, including renewals of the accorded to the state FDAs and CDSU. The regulatory changes, what has happened, accordingly CDSO claimed that it has initiated various measures in the last 2 years to streamline the regulatory procedures for relaxing, rationalizing, and modifying the existing provisions of the drug control regulations, which has resulted in accelerating the regulatory approvals without compromising the safety, quality, performance of medicinal products. A separate, simplified, and extensive new drug and clinical trial CT rules under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 that will codify all amendments to date in planning stages. In the efforts toward digitization and implementation of e-governance scheme, Ministry of Health has launched online licensing system by the name Sugam, which is being continuously expanded in a phased manner. In order to give impetus to the government's Make in India initiative, emphasis is being placed on ensuring safety, efficacy, and quality of drugs manufactured in India by requiring submission of stability data and compliance of GMP and GLP requirements. Additionally, there are deliberations for the plugging the gaps in the sale of drugs, including internal sales and over-the-counter sales. Now, next regulation change is with respect to the medical devices. The government is simultaneously in a process of streamlining the medical devices industry, which has seen a paradigm shift this year with notification of the separate district medicinal device rules 2017 and effective from January 2018. The medical device rules has been modified with an aim to bring within its purview the entire universe of the devices by notifying them as drugs as defined as the DCA in a phase-wise manner, thereby bringing them within the jurisdiction of CDSCO, the drug regulator. With the MDR and the subsequent notification of medical devices, regulatory approvals would be required. CDSO has already circulated a draft of 462 medical devices and 250 IVD, in vitro diagnostics. Earlier there were only 52 medical devices. Now the number of medical devices has been incorporated. To encourage imports, manufacturers, distributors and supply chain personnel to voluntarily adhere with the safety, performance and quality aspects as stated in the MDR for creating proper ecosystem for its effective implementation. Now the change is with respect to the enforcing one company, one brand and one molecule. Earlier what was happening? A company is manufacturing one API. Now it is being manufactured at site by one brand name, same API as other contractual manufacturing site by different brand name. The cost of both totally different. So the government of India has come up with the policy, one company, one brand, one molecule. The current draft NPP proposes to put a restraint on the multiple brand names and implement the principle of one manufacturer, one sold, one brand name and one price. In addition, the draft NPP proposes to prohibit third-party manufacturing that companies use for brand variation of the same formulation. Now, marketing code. The government of India has come out with one of the noteworthy pieces of legislation that the Department of Pharmaceuticals is spearheading in the Uniform Code of Pharmaceutical Marketing Practices, UCPMP. The code has provisions on ships, gifts, hospitality, travel that the industry alleges extend to the doctors as well as the provisions on claims and comparisons, textual and audiovisual promotional material, and the conduct of sales representative and the samples they provide to doctors. The department is now proposing to make UCPMP a statutory and mandatory under the Essential Commodity Act 1955, along with penal provisions for companies violating the code. Those companies which are violating this code, they will be penalized. Now we come to the biosimilars. Dr. Preeti emphasized on biosimilars, but my context is not with her presentation. It is related to the change of rules, regulations, and laws. There have been some changes in the regulations relating to similar biologicals. On August 16, 2016, the Ministry of Health released a new guideline on similar biologicals. The change in the guideline has been made. Biological 2012 seemed to have been initiated in the light of suit filed by the Delhi High Court by Roche, the US company, against Biocon, Mylan, and DCGI. The Biocon and Mylan were manufacturing the product of Roche, which are similar to their product, and DCGI approved without going into depth of the molecules studies. They gave approval. So they both came under the lawsuit, under the focus of lawsuit filed by Roche. Now, what are the challenges to the pharmaceutical industry? First, India pharmaceutical companies are key players in the space of generic product, global market sector, and India is one of important players of pharma emerging market. In generic molecules, what is happening? When we go to the site and see how the products are being manufactured, how the people are handling the products, it is very pathetic situation because we are visiting time and again and we are very much conversant with the rules and regulations and requirements. So it's a big challenge because one day it can become a big problem for the country. The mess that is happening in generic manufacturing, generic medicine manufacturing. The nature and diversity of the Indian pharmaceutical industry market, healthcare objectives, and legal system pose unique challenges for pharmaceutical sector in India. Now challenges related to rules and regulations are also. The diversity of the changes are very complex. Hence, Indian pharmaceutical sector have to face these challenges with more courage to emerge as one of the leading players in the world pharmaceutical market and to achieve progress in healthcare. The second challenge is related with the intellectual property rights. When we come to the generic molecules, are the Indian authorities evaluating the patents of the manufacturers, different manufacturers, same molecule? I don't think they are doing so. The same molecule, same route of synthesis, same combination, they are giving approvals. So need of the hour that this is also a challenge. The Indian Patent Act 2005 formed as per the requirements of TRIPS, trade-related restrictions with the intellectual property rights. According to OPPI, the Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers of India, the Section 3D, impermissible Haldan has been added to this, which is a fourth substantive criteria, enhanced efficiency of the TRIPS requirements. The Haldan appears only for pharmaceutical products and some substances like salts, esters, ethers, and other derivatives of known substances are presumed to be the same substance, original chemical, and cannot be patented unless it is proved that these substances differ significantly with respect to their efficiency. efficiency. The government committee grants compulsory license (CL) under the special provisions of Section 92 and Section 66 of Indian Patent Act, which makes patent holder more difficult to defend their patents. It is a challenge to the government to justify the grants of compulsory license, which has to be used for under limited circumstances, as to the tool to industrial policy. Now, the other challenge is related to the market access barrier. Fixing the ceiling price of the essential drugs by NPPA under the Drugs Price Control Order DPCO 2013 is cost-based policy that it take account simple average of all drugs with a market share of 1% or more. The industry expects it is more appropriate to adopt market-based policy sector than the cost-based policy sector. The contribution from the government in the areas of the healthcare is not satisfactory, which is only 1.2% of the GDP, and the healthcare infrastructure development not up to the expectation in India. The pharmaceutical companies expect the government to improve the system in public health care and administration. Reaching the rural market, which is very large in India, the pharmaceutical company have to work with innovative marketing and sales tools to reach these markets. The untapped market, that is the rural market. The other challenge, all must be knowing about the data integrity. In all pharmaceutical industry, data integrity is the one issue. It is not only in India, globally. This problem is everywhere. Testing into compliance, data manipulation, data deletion, record distraction, misreporting, disregarding, failing or questionable results, all leading to the possible breaches in the integrity of critical data. That has become one of the most important and relevant topics currently discussed by the industry and regulators from around the world. So that data integrity is the biggest challenge which is yet to be resolved. Now other challenges, FDI investment in greenfield projects is easier than the brownfield, which will hinder the FDI investment in brownfield projects. India needs more structured and mature regulations on the clinical trial policies. More expectations are from pharmaceutical companies as the compensation for the person injured during clinical trials. Presently, the regulations in these clinical trials are uncertain. The ethical concern in the Indian pharmaceutical industry is not seen to the mark. Many international agencies believe more improvement is needed for the ethical scenario of Indian pharmaceutical sector, especially in the field of clinical trials and marketing practices. Now, what are the opportunities before the Indian pharmaceutical industries? First, focus on research and development. R&D investment in India is 8 to 11% of the total turnover, which is less than a global investment in R&D, and now it is expected to increase further because of the increasing competition. The second opportunity is an export-oriented business. Now, Indian pharmaceutical export market is thriving due to the strong presence in the generic market. We supplied about 20% of the global market in terms of volume. Last time for approval. In order to compete the global market, the drug approval process has been simplified and approved time for new plant has been reduced. In the draft patent amendment rules 2015, the time period, earlier it was 12 months in granting a patent. Now it is 4 months only. So this is also an opportunity. Now India has the potential of contract manufacturing. Indian pharma companies have solid expertise in contract manufacturing, and recent scrutiny around quality issues is driving significant improvements in manufacturing standards. Manufacturing of vaccines. India is a player, one of the leading player in the prominent area of growth. India is one of the largest vaccine producer in the world. And you have seen that during this COVID period, India came up with its own vaccines. And we proved to the world that we are not dependent on others. Now, other opportunities are over-the-counter market holds significant potential. OTC sales are on the increase, offering opportunity to achieve high volume and enhance pharma brands in India. Reaching the untapped rural market. Now earlier our focus was only on the urban market, that was the 70%, but the rural market of India, which is totally untapped. Now the pharmaceutical sector is focusing on the rural areas and they want to tap that market. That is also a big opportunity for pharmaceutical sector. India can become a hub for clinical trials also. Some Indian pharma companies are already developing a reputation for a nimble, rapid approach to clinical testing that looks to streamline the clinical trial process and bring new drugs to the market faster. So clinical trials is also one of the opportunities to the pharmaceutical sector. Biotech and biosimilars too on track for growth. India developing biotech industry and cost advantage should drive growth in local development of biosimilars for the global market. Bioinformatics. India's existing knowledge capital in IT sector provides a natural base for the development of bioinformatics research and operations. Stem cell research. India has made considerable progress in stem cell research and is well positioned to leverage growing capability in this area. The one medical devices, that is also one of the opportunities. Earlier only 52 medical devices were incorporated. Now the list has increased and medical devices represent a significant potential market. However, the sector currently lacks regulatory and R&D support, so which should be emphasized. Necessary to achieve the full potential and faces steep competition from the Europe and China. So we have to challenge and we have to come up with the stringent regulations in MDR also to emerge as the leader in the medical devices also. Licensing. Multinational companies are striking licensing agreements to get a share of Indian pie. For example, Elder Pharmaceuticals, one example I am sharing, has entered into an exclusive licensing deal with Israel's Enzymatic to sell its latest cholesterol-reducing dietary supplement, that is the name Cardia Beat. So this sort of licensing agreements are happening worldwide.
So request Ram Nivas ji, please summarize. Yeah, please.
5 minutes, sir. 5 minutes. Only
Thank
5
you.
minutes.
Thank you.
Now, franchising and joint ventures and wholly owned subsidiaries. Some multinational companies have also increased their stake in their Indian subsidiary to take advantage of the Indian opportunity. Pfizer has been able to increase its stake in Indian arm. Now, I have come to the conclusion, so I will not take much time.
No, thank you, sorry, sir. Because
The pharmaceutical business model is witnessing a paradigm shift, moving from a fully integrated company structured toward the future where companies use a wide range of outsourcing, partnership, initiatives, and other contractual and relationship arrangements to create networks and collaboration and discovery. Investing in India will be a vital component of this network nature. Companies that will most successful in doing business, India will be those are most adept at managing and mixing a range of contractual relationship and partnership strategies. Thank you all for listening to me. And if you have any question, you can ask. You are welcome. I think all are tired.
I think Ram Nivasi has explained so nicely. So I think if any question you can come forward because now we are concluding session because Most of our audience is trying to go out. I am seeing one by one they are leaving because some maybe have. So please come out, come forward and ask question if any.
If you have any question, you are most welcome. And there are two situations when questions are not asked. Whether you understood very well or other way you know.
I think they have understood because your lecture is so clear and explanative, so that I think most of our audience is get enlightened.
Thank you, sir. I am confident of, and I have the trust in my colleagues that they understood me very well. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your nice lecture. I will conclude within 5 minutes. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Preeti ma'am, Ram Nivasi, and all of our senior colleagues who have spent whole day in this seminar. Since morning we have hearing lot of lectures, same thing, repetition again and again. So I will not take time much because left side sitting our academic person, great ladies, and right side industry people. So a regulator is always have the left and right hand because we have the regulatory academia, and if industry will come together, it will be the wonderful situation, win-win situation always for regulator, because both of them they have explained very nicely, and previously also starting from morning our Kosia ji, Sri Oja Sahab is sitting here. He also spoken very nicely, spiritual way, language, and multilinguistic way to make us very silly understandable manner that how we can practice our religion and what is the quality, what is the relativity principle of the scientists actually given, we can here also practice. So we all know the rule regulation. They have proven that today so many lectures they have given and proven that rule regulation practices, everything is contemporary to need and knowledge of society. So in that all lecture we can conclude in this one word, that all are contemporary. We have to be prepared for all the situation, and we have to not get frustrated what thing is coming. What they have given the statistics that our small scale industry is facing challenge because all the big molecule is coming, big multinational is big, because the child is the father of man. Our small scale industry is going to be one by one in the medium scale. Again it will be the Indian multinational, and will don't know they become the multinational also, because they are growing, and growth is that only. So regulatory update, madam, sir has told very nicely whatever the rule regulation changed now, practices you seeing. So I have to not explain what practices has changed from the government agency. As a regulator and as a zonal head, I am practicing the same thing, and I want to change the system. Change the system, no, because the political intent is there to I have to change, and requirement, you people, what you want, come forward. And I don't want to give the much lecture. If you only have the grievances from me with respect to the timeline, with respect to the WHO, what you getting, if you are facing any NSQ investigation also, that we can solve, that can be replied. And this is, once again I am giving the thanks to Saket. for inviting me and talking with you. And they have all told like challenges. They have explained very nicely that coronavirus, how we have challenged, if interesting situation, if something, some bliss come, boon also we come, some situation in the drastic situation we can win, like coronavirus, we have developed our market, some company become overnight very big, they have changed their, they have got very much but market share also. So like so many challenges will come and we have to be ready, like corona, monkeypox is now in the line, and some telling tomato Swiss something, sauce is also is virus is coming. But this is all the thing will come. If there is work, there will be the problem, there will be the challenge. If we work, we will face the problem. If we are doing some changes, we are doing some good work, we always face some challenge. So we have to ready. And I think with this word, I tell once big hello and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much to all the dignitaries for taking out time from your busy schedule, coming here and sharing your valuable knowledge. I appreciate the contribution of all the people who have worked hard enough to make this day a success. Without your sheer dedication and support, we mark the end of 7th National Conference on Pharma and Allied Industry. Thank you all. And refreshments are arranged outside, so you can all leave now and have your tea. Thank you so much.
Thank you.